Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal, and today we got a brand new build for the Dragonflight beta, with this week's update focusing on endgame raid testing, as well as big adjustments to class utility, primarily changes to certain buffs shared by your raid or party. We also got major Druid talent reworks, as well as a variety of other class changes. So in today's video, I wanted to go over all of the newest updates hitting our favorite classes in this week's build of the Dragonflight beta. But right before we get into this update video, most of you guys watching these videos are still not subscribed. However, the more of you are reminded, the more of you do. So let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel as well as to the bell if you're watching these videos anyway, especially if you want to get regular updates about the next World of Warcraft expansion of Dragonflight. I first want to go over all of the important class changes, starting with the Demon Hunter. First, we got updates to the ability of Blur, which has been removed from the talent trees this week, with Blur returning as a baseline defensive for the playstyle of Havoc, but taking a very powerful defensive ability away from the Vengeance Demon Hunter toolkit. Vengeance, however, did see a buff to Ruinous Bulwark, which will now provide them an absorb shield from the damage of Fell Devastation. And situationally, the absorb effect can become quite powerful, letting you build up an extra layer of defense as a preemptive measure to a high stress situation. Balance Druids saw a complete revamp to their entire spec talent tree, which includes changes to the structure, pathing, as well as the overall layout, and many of their strongest talents have been made much easier to access, with brand new gameplay altering capstone traits found towards the bottom of the rows. Multiple instances of Starfall can now overlap one another, which results in a much better AoE damage output. And the talent of Lunar Shrapnel causes Starfall to become far more effective. We also see balanced Druid abilities from previous expansions make a return into this new talent tree, starting with the ability of Astral Communion, which will help you recover your combat resources instantaneously. Sprout wild mushrooms under your foe's feet that explode for nature damage to all nearby targets while restoring astral power resources. And call upon the wild Fey Dragons to aid you in combat and even enhance your damage output. In this week's Dragonflight build, the class of Hunter sees a handful of updates, mostly dealing with bug fixes and talent tree optimizations. However, they did receive a new visual upgrade to the ability of Freezing Trap, which will now sport enhanced textures that make it look more visually realistic. The class of Mage also gained a handful of changes. For the spec of Arcane, the talent of Crackling Energy will now support both single target damage as well as AoE output, making the talent more versatile and overall a much stronger option. For Frost Mages, Glacial Spike crits will now help contribute to Icy Propulsion talent by shaving off 6 seconds from Icy Veins, empowering glacial builds and glacial focus playstyles. And the spec of Windwalker Monk had their talent tree layout completely adjusted in order to make certain talent choices easier to reach. Specifically, we see the talents of Hit Combo and Jade Ignition brought up slightly in order to make him easier to access. And as of this recent build, most talent options for Windwalker Monks are finally functional and ready for testing. Next, we have the class of Rogue, who saw various changes to their talent tree layout in order to greatly improve their pathing opportunities. The newly added talent of Reverberation will greatly enhance the reprimand damage output. The ability of Kitten Shot will now cap out at 5 combo points even when using talents like Deeper Stratagem, which limits Rogue's control specifically for PvP situations. In this week's build, Subtlety Rogues are seeing new talent additions, starting with Improved Dance, which increases the uptime of Shadow Dance. The talent of Swift Death reduces the cooldown of Symbols of Death, greatly increasing its uptime in PvE content. The talent of Shadow Techniques became a baseline passive, with Improved Techniques greatly increasing its energy regen. Finally, we got some form of group utility, with a new change to Shrouded in Darkness. Shrouding your allies through stealth greatly enhances their movement speed. And while this talent upgrade is very minor, it does allow for creative uses in specific situations, particularly in content like Mythic Plus dungeons. And besides the individual class changes, we also saw adjustments to various class utility effects. During Dragonflight's development, many classes have gained new passive and active effects that help enhance the party. And this build is looking to adjust certain group utilities, buffing some while nerfing others. Druid's Mark of the Wild buff has been adjusted to increase your raid's versatility by 3% instead of increasing their crit chance, movement speed, and damage reduction. Obviously, this adjustment is a little bit of a nerf, though most groups will still gladly accept the bonus versatility in their next dungeon or raid encounter. The Evoker's utility of Zephyr has been adjusted to function in raid scenarios, providing a valuable damage reduction buff to allies in close proximity. Then we see changes to the Hunter's Sentinel ability, primarily the talent that modifies the ability defensively. Sentinel's defensive effect has been adjusted and will now only buff your allies' leech by 5%, instead of also reducing the magic damage taken by 10%. Making this defensive combination a little bit more situational, but also making it less mandatory when it comes to endgame group content. The Monk passive of Close to Heart has been adjusted, increasing the effectiveness of all heals to you and nearby allies. The Paladin's ability of Spell Warding has been removed from the class talent tree. This magic immunity has been made exclusive to Protection Paladins once again, greatly increasing the value of tank paladins in group content, but drastically reducing the utility of Holy and Retribution. Finally, we see changes to the Shaman totems, primarily the Mana Spring totem, Tranquil Air, and the Stone Skin totem. All of these totem effects are no longer limited by your party and can affect anyone within the raid, though these totems will still have a target cap of 4 and will prioritize any allies standing to them in close proximity. The totem of Mana Spring will prioritize healers above others for better mana recovery, while Tranquil Air will prioritize all casters over melee for better casting protection. In this week's build, Owl Rogues are finally able to utilize their Restless Crew party buff. However, this new group utility is under heavy reevaluation and could either be adjusted or outright removed by the next build. And the class of Demon Hunter is also getting reevaluated this week, primarily due to their overwhelmingly powerful crowd control utility. Currently, all Demon Hunters are capable of controlling multiple targets with stuns, silences, and fears from the talented sigils, greatly enhancing the overall group value. In a blue post, they question if one class should be able to have this much control, indicating that they may either prune some of its utility or make it more of a talented choice, either choosing stuns or the sigil base gameplay. And for now, that's going to be all of the changes that we have in today's video. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What are your thoughts about the recent updates to the Boomkin, as well as all of the other recent class changes? Also, what are your thoughts about the idea of party buffs? Would you want to see more party and group utility, or less going forward in Dragonflight? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. As per always, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, in the description of every single video and a live stream, we have a link to our Discord community channel. Probably the best place to reach out to me directly in case you want to let me know what you thought about this video update or discuss these recent class changes with the rest of the channel community. Join our Discord to become part of the community. But otherwise, thank you all so much for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.